to Lessons Learnt. I'm Sherry and this is Monday Quilt Chat. Blue is here with me. He's not decided if he wants to stay in the shed or go home. I don't know what he's wanting. He jumped up from the beanbag bed. I don't know, I think he thought I was getting up to leave. So I think he will probably go right back to napping. Is that what I did? Did I interrupt your nap? I think I may have. Well, thank you for coming by today. We're going to chat a little bit about all the quilty things in my quilt world and in the quilt world in general. So we have a few things we can go over. Are you happy, baby? Are you happy, doggy? I think you are. Yeah. Are you ready to go back to your nap? Let's do it, okay? Let's lay down. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. Alright. He'll settle down here in just a second. Once he realizes that I am here to stay for at least a few more minutes. So yeah, thanks for dropping by here. We're going to talk about quilt things, as we always do on Mondays. And left you last with Finish It Friday and all of the wonderful finishes that we had last week from everyone that submitted photos. And I missed actually putting a couple of photos up that I should have. One was the Sewell Botanic Blast contest quilt. And then the other one was Mark's finish from last week that he had a video on. So I'll go ahead and put my quilt here right now. And this was, I don't know if you remember, but when I went to Paducah and I visited Hancock's of Paducah, I picked up this kit. And I thought that might be a good thing to use for that contest quilt. I could just switch out some of the fabrics for the Botanic Blast and sew it up and see how it looks. And it was a very customizable pattern. You could change in and out the colors however you wanted. It was, I won't say it was a bad pattern. It was probably the most vague pattern that I've ever used for quilting. Because it lent itself to, customizing it to what you want it to be. You could have changed out all those colors, moved them around all different ways. There was just it was just free game on how to put that together. So I kind of followed what the picture had and then incorporating some of the Botanic Blast in with it. So, and then there's on the back there's a Botanic Blast 108 that I picked up, and that's what I turned in for the contest. And they're supposed to have a show on August 1st about that. It'll be like a slideshow of all the quilts. I'm looking at my hair and it's kind of crazy right there. Still very humid here. Anyway, there will be like a show of all the quilts, and the contest is the number one winner would get $1,000 shopping spree from Sewell, and then there's two or three more prizes, I think. One I know is a fat quarter bundle of their next new line that comes out, which we haven't seen yet. And I think the other one was something similar, like a smaller amount of it. Maybe there was just 3 prizes. And then there would be some honorable mentions as well. So August 1st on Sewell, I don't know what time it will be, but you can just go over there and subscribe to their channel and get notifications of when that will be if you would like to see if I won anything. I've seen some pretty things that people have made and they've posted on the So yeah, I made this Facebook group. So there's been a handful of people over there that have revealed their makes out of the Botanic Blast for the contest. So I don't know. I have no idea how many people are going to be entering it, and what we're going to see. They could make anything. A quilt of any size. I saw a jacket. I saw a rug, a basket, a lamp. I'm not sure what else I saw. Just a lot of different things that people have made out of their Botanic Blast line. Didn't have to be a bed quilt. So anyway, I wanted to show you that because I got that done here. I don't know how long ago was it, maybe a week and a half ago, and I wanted to let you have a sneak peek of that if you weren't going to watch the show. Also, Mark's finish that he had, I'll put a picture of that right here, and this is his grandfather's flower garden. You know how there's grandmother's flower garden? That's an old pattern, right? Cool. Old vintage quilt pattern, if not antique, really. So his is a little bit more modern and way bigger. So we called it Grandfather's Flower Garden, and I think it fit. This was a really big quilt. I think it was somewhere 75 to 79 inches wide, I forget, and then 103.5 inches long. So definitely a man quilt. Very good for a very tall person. So men like long quilts to cover up their feet, right? So grandfather's flower garden, that fits. But I don't think I have a picture of the back. If I do, I'll put it up here. But it was a black and white 108 that I had in my stash of 108s that went well with it, and that's what he bound it in as well. So I wanted to show those to you. Those should have really been on Friday's show. I put them on Facebook this weekend for some of you to see, and then the rest of you that don't do Facebook, there you go. That's two things I should have showed you on Friday that I didn't. I just kind of forgot about it. I told you the story about the pictures, right? And how we had to redo the pictures. There was actually a third time that we had to do the pictures for that Botanic Blast contest quilt. Yes, 3 times. The second time, which I think Monday of last week, I told you we're going to have to redo those pictures today. That was going to be the second time. Well, when we did the second time, I went in after he put everything away, and why I didn't check this before, I don't know. And my pictures were blurry. They were blurry because my phone had been inside in the cold air conditioning, and when I went outside, it kind of fogged over. So my pictures were fogged over. So I didn't say anything for a little while, and I thought, oh, I'll just hang them on the shed like I do my other quilts. I'll just do it there and take pictures. And then I had to admit later on the next day, well, there's a problem with those pictures. And he was like, what? But he said, no, we'll do it a third time, no worries. So we did, and finally got some decent pictures. So the picture I showed you is not the one that went to Sewell. I got one that was a little more close up, and then a couple more that I sent just in case they wanted to see that I finished it. So that was that story. Let's see what else. This weekend I also put labels on my 2 fair quilts. That was something that was hanging over my head to get done. So I got that done. I'll show you a picture right here, those 2 labels. And what I did is I took some of the fabric from the lines of fabric that I was using for those 2 quilts. I cut a square, and then I cut a little muslin square and sewed that down on that square before I put it on the quilt. So I wrote what I needed to write on the little muslin square. I sewed it on the big square, and then I used Heat and Bond Light to attach it to the quilt, which technically I probably ought to go back and stitch that down, but for now I feel like I'm as far as I'm going to go with it right now, and that'll be enough. You can put a quilt label on with Heat and Bond Light, adhere it, and that can be considered finished, but we'll see. I think it would take a very, very long time for that label to start coming on. I mean, you would have to use the quilt, like wash it monthly for years before that would even fall off. But I may decide to sew them on one day. I don't know. Just hand stitch it on. I also did, okay, so the finishing for the Fat Quarter Shop Designer Mystery for 2025, the finishing kit. I showed you last week that I had cut out all my finishing. Well, I have a word of caution for you if you're thinking about doing that, or if you've already done that. They want you for these to use these papers. Well, they don't want you to. They sent these papers in. It's on a pad. And of course, I went ahead and pulled out the 16 I needed before I realized I'm not going to be able to use those, because I cut my pieces exactly the size that they said to cut. And when you do foundation paper piecing, you need bigger pieces than that, so that you can trim it down to the size that you need. So when I sewed these on, you're not going to be able to tell it because it's white. It's not. It's too small. My whole, see there? My whole little square is going to be too small. That was the line to trim it. I already trimmed it all the way down as far as you can. And it's too small. So don't use the papers. Just go ahead and use your squares that you've cut, and the white square, just go ahead and do the sew and flip, stitch and flip like you normally do, and they'll come out the right size if you do that accurately. Mine come out good when I did them without the paper. So I don't know. I don't know. Because I cut out this part the exact size, then that made it to where these papers would not work. It made it too small. So unless I'm doing something wrong, but I've done foundation paper piecing. I'm not the queen of it or anything, but those aren't going to work now that I cut my pieces exact. But I do want to show you what I did with the finishing kit so far are my 2 blocks. Oh my goodness, these blocks. They're 20.5 inches wide now. And look how pretty that is. So there will be 6 blocks that have this setting. And these are the squares I was just talking about right here in the corners. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. It's a little bit of work to get all this done, especially on this one. Now this is block number 1. These take a little time because you've got stitch and flips on both sides. Well, I should say all 4 corners. You know what I mean. So there's that. And then my number 2 block, which I just got recently and had finished, and you saw it. This is the finishing on it. So see how it's a little bit different? It's got 2 pieces here. And then the corners have 2 stitch and flip. So this one, I thought this one was going to be more work, but actually the other one's more work. This one didn't take as long to do as that first one. So let me show you again. This one, see how it's all solid, and then you got your square and a square there in the corner, and then this one. So this is going to be a beautiful quilt, no doubt. And doing this finishing each month with each block is going to save a ton of time. And I could also actually go through and construct all of these side pieces ahead of time if I wanted to. I think probably what I will do is just when I get the new block for the month, I'll just sit and do the whole thing, the whole 20.5 inch block. And also, since I had already starched this middle section, I had those 2 blocks done, I went back once I got this done and I starched all of these too and trimmed. So then when I do the number 3 block and do all the finishing with it, I'll starch the whole thing and trim it. So they're 20.5 inches. So aren't those pretty? It's going to be a beautiful quilt. And the only thing that's going to be left to do when we get done is the large border around. And of course the finishing kit includes that. I cut those, Yeah, I did. I cut those out already, and even my binding I've cut out. So I'm feeling pretty good about that project now. Won't have to dread the finishing at the end. I wish they would do that with the Sew Sampler one, because those are huge blocks. I wonder what the finishing will be like for that. Be nice if they'd go ahead and come out with that, but I don't think they will, being it's a monthly box. I don't know. I might have to go out on their site and see if they might at some point put that out there for sale early. Did they do that last time with the Peaceful baskets? Something's telling me that they did. So I probably need to go out there and see if there's sometimes they'll put like a notify me when available, and then you can go ahead and reserve your finishing pattern and maybe a kit to finish it with. And then when they have it ready, they'll just go on and charge you for it and send it. So I should look that up. Anything else I did this weekend? I think that's about it. Mark is working on another scrap pattern. His video did so well on that grandfather's flower garden. Thank you all so much for watching that. And I don't know what YouTube did, but thank you, YouTube. If there's somebody out there that's real that I can thank, you put his video out there a little more, pushed it out more to where more people were watching it. He gained over 300 more subscribers, and he's about this close to having his 4,000 watch hours. So that's why he wants to do another scrappy one. But I helped him a little bit with a pattern on that, just some ideas. We threw out some ideas, and he came up with a pattern a free pattern that he can share with you on that. And speaking of other free patterns, the panel quilt, the Bloom panel quilt that I'm cross stitching, we have made a finishing or a setting pattern for that, and it will be available really soon. And I'll go ahead and show you a picture of it right here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hold on just a minute. I'll get a couple of those blocks so you can see. Now I'm talking about Corey Yoder's A Bloom panel. There's 20 of these squares on that panel, and they're already stamped in these colors. Now I just happen to be embroidering mine, and it's just a little cross stitch embroidery, and I have like 6 of these done, I think now. The setting pattern, or the finishing pattern, however you want to call it. I think you call it a setting pattern, don't you? Because it'll have blank spaces where these blocks go. It uses 12 of these, and when it's done, it'll be 59 by 59. So let me go ahead and show you a picture of that right here, if I haven't already got it up here on here. It might already be up there, I don't know. So that's what it looks like. So be on the lookout for that maybe later this week. If you aren't doing your embroidery and you want to just do something with that panel, this is something you could do. Now you will have to make 12 other pieced blocks, but they're super simple, and it kind of gives that Irish chain kind of look to it, lattice Irish chain kind of look to it. We haven't put a name to it yet, so it will have a name when it's ready. So I'll be referring to it by its name here before long, and hopefully, start putting it together too. Okay, so that I think covers the things that I did this weekend related to quilting. It's too hot to do anything else. Maybe I did a little bit of laundry, did I? Not too much house cleaning. Probably should have done more of that, but didn't. The weekends go by fast, just like the weeks and the months and the years go by fast. It's ridiculous. Let's see, what else was there I wanted to share with you? Oh, here's one thing else that kind of happened this past week that is a little bit unfortunate, is that nobody claimed the tumbler. The person that won the tumbler didn't claim the tumbler. So I have a new winner here for you. I ran the same thing again, And here's a clip of it with a brand new winner. Okay, Tumblr giveaway, GoldieLose.com, take 2. This is the second time for this giveaway, so let's see if your name shows up. Proud to be Kate's mama. I think you're a regular. I think you're a regular. She says, I want to see the contraption he built so I can con my husband into making me one. Oh, that was because I was talking about the quilt hanger thing in front of the garage. Hopefully you've seen that by now, Kate's mama. All right, get a hold of me through the Lessons Learnt email, and that is Lessons Learnt, all one word, 2021 at gmail.com. Send me your actual name and address so that I can send the tumbler out to you. Congratulations. Okay, so let's see if that person gets in contact with me. I think they will. I hope. It happens sometimes that when you have in the description or the title or the thumbnail of your video, you get some people in that don't watch regularly. And I don't know if that was the case with the person before, but evidently something happened where they're not in close contact with us here on the channel very much, or they would have heard it by now. Honestly, I didn't make a huge effort to find that person. I've kind of changed my tune a little bit lately about things like that. You know, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on things like that. I want to spend it on doing what I love to do, what I enjoy doing. So, you know, while I'll make every effort to find somebody, I'm going to keep it within reason and not spend too awfully much time trying to track down somebody that won something. So it's kind of the responsibility of the entrants, isn't it, to see if they won something, you know, make a note of, you know, when they entered something and when it would be announced the winner, and be there for that. So if the new winner, if you really want this, you're gonna have to get in touch with me. I'm not gonna come looking for you from every direction. I love the comment section. I love how all of you are so nice to comment. I rarely have a bad comment or a negative comment. I have lots of great suggestions. If you'll notice, it was one of you that suggested last week that I do that flange binding video, which worked out good for me too, because that made me get that done. And so, you know, that's the kind of things I'm looking for in the comments. And, you know, I appreciate all the well wishes and the thanks. You all seem to really appreciate the work that goes into doing the videos every week, and you always tell me that. And all of you who are very faithful to do that, thank you so much. You are very special to me. And yeah, I like to pay attention to the comments. That is something that I'm not going to let go, you know, as one of those things I just don't enjoy, because I do enjoy it. And, you know, sometimes, especially when I have a giveaway, there's extra comments. So, you know, it's hard to answer. Sometimes I can just only, you know, approve the comment and give a little heart and go on, just to kind of, you know, get the day started, because I could spend so many hours doing that. And, you know, I try to respond to every comment, at the very least, with a heart, and if not, with a comment back. So yeah, keep on commenting. That's nice. That's part of this for me. The comment section is for you and I to communicate with each other. So keep doing that. Seemed like there was something else important I was supposed to tell you, but since I'm on here 3 days a week, surely I will think of it soon. The garden whatever pattern we're starting soon, that's the Craftsy. I forgot to put my commercial out there on last Wednesday's video, so it will be on this Wednesday's video without fail. Or they'll fire me. No, they won't fire me. I have to do that. It's time to do that. Oh, and I was going to say too, this is what it was. On the merch, the quilting themed merch from GoldieLoos.com for this cup. If you want to go to GoldieLoos.com, our discount code is still active. It's Lessons10, and you can get 10% off anything you purchase from her store. And the link to the website and the code is there in the description box of this video. So I think that was the thing I wanted to mention to you, that code goes through August. So it's not forever. So if you really want something, you need to go out there and do it now. I don't get any kickback or anything from that. I'm just offering that to you because I like this little company. I'm, kind of supporting them by putting their name out there. But as far as me financially gaining from that, no. Other than I mentioned it on this video you're watching. So watching the videos is more important to me than anything else, and watching them all the way through if you can. All right, let's see. I think I'm ready to go ahead. Oh, here's an important one. Ha 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 ha. I decided the small projects. This is what I decided to do. I'm going to pick a small project, show it to you on Monday, and do everything I can to get that done by Friday. I have no big quilt projects going on other than the monthly, weekly blocks that I'm doing on all of these, like Moda and Fat Quarter Shop and all that stuff, blockheads. I'm going to do a small project every week until I get those down a little bit. This is a fancy pin cushion I was talking about the other day. It's called Tenderness, and this is it. And this is not just any pin cushion. That's why I call it a fancy pin cushion, because you have I think they're calling it a, what do they call it? They're calling it a panel that you put on the top of it, but it's English paper piecing. So what is in this little kit that you get, and I think I got this from Shabby Fabrics. It's by Sharon Burgess. Lila Bell Lane Creations is what it is. Tenderness pincushion, distributed by CreativeAbundance.com, Australia. It says AU. Anyway, you have papers in there. I've got little clips on mine so that they don't get away. So this is the leaves, this is the center of the flower, and these are the petals of the flowers. So that is what makes up this on here on top. Then they give you these wonderful little templates to cut your fabric with, so that you can put that fabric on these. And that's how you make your English paper piecing, if you're not familiar with English paper piecing. Well, it did not come with fabric or anything. It wasn't a kit. It was just a pattern. And I don't remember what I paid for this, but I'm thinking it was less than $15. Less than that, I think. But here's what I picked out for it. I'm going to use this for that center, right in the center of it. And that's the hexagon. So I'm going to put the hexagon right here and cut that out. Now I won't get all of it, but I'll get the B. I'll definitely get all of the B in it. And then the petals, or the flowers, I'm going to try to fussy cut this for that. And that would be, let me see, where are they? that would be this right here. So, see that? I don't know. I'm trying to turn that where you can read it, but you probably can't read it, can you? It says petal on it. So that's the petal of the flower. I'm going to try to get those. And then for the little leafy part, I'm going to use this, I think, for the little leaves. They're tiny. I don't know. I might use something else. But I pulled all of these out. This is another one that could be used for other parts of the pincushion. You know, like the side and the bottom. And then the piece that pulls over. See this this piece right here behind the petals and the leaves? That needs a fabric. So I pulled out these, and this is what I'm going to use for it. But I may find something else for the petals. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I could just stay within this color range here. Or I could just do black petals. Or I could do green petals. Not petals, leaves. It's the leaves that I'm kind of undecided on. I don't know. This one has butterflies on it. I don't know. I don't think those will do well either. Well, they might. I might be able to get those little butterflies on each one of those. See those little butterflies there? I might be able to get some of those in there. Fussy cut those out for the leaves. I mean, it doesn't have to be a real flower, you know, leaf. I could use these colors even though that's a leaf, a petal, and a middle of a flower. I mean, this is not floral that I'm using. Well, this one is, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I got in the mood to do a small project, and this is what I'm going to do. So hopefully you'll see that on Friday. It won't be much to sew up like a regular English paper piecing thing will be. It's only about this big, so surely I can hand sew that much together between now and then. And I have the walnut shells that they want you to use for filling it. And some of you have told me that you use polyfill and walnut shells. And I think I tried that once in something and I kind of liked it. What did I use that in? Oh, it was in this little cell phone stand. And I think that's probably a good idea. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it feels with the walnut shells. And if it needs more poof to it, I can put the polyfill in. Okay, let's go. I think I've talked enough. Let's go to our art quilt and see what that is for this week. Let's see. Oh boy. This is a fancy one. Okay, I'm going to stick a picture right here. It's called Amethyst. It's 88 by 88. And it's by Kathleen Johnson of Alexander, North Dakota. The most difficult part of this quilt for Kathleen was choosing the fabrics. Paper foundation piecing, machine quilting, freehand, and ruler work were used. Won a blue ribbon at the McKenzie County Fair, Watford City, North Dakota. Grand champion at the Upper Missouri Valley Fair, Williston, North Dakota. So North Dakota has a very nice quilter there in Kathleen. The pattern is Amethyst by Judy Niemeyer of quiltworks.com. Yes, that's definitely a Judy Niemeyer pattern. So she just left the name with it of Amethyst. And wow, doesn't green and purple go together so really well? I think it looks really nice. And look at those thin spires that are coming off the star from the center. Very, very impressive. And all of that custom quilting that she did on it. So that is our art quilt of the week. Very good. One of these days I'm going to have to do one of those patterns and enter it in a show. Who knows? I'm a little uptight about this fair thing. I don't know why. It's not a big deal. but I'm just trying to make sure I, you know, do everything I'm supposed to do to it. And, you know, I put the hanging sleeve on the second one this weekend too. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I have the 2 labels and the hanging sleeve. Everything's done on both of them. And I just need to give them both a really good once over, make sure I don't have any loose threads or anything like that. But there's 2 days that you can turn them in. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. I think it's early in August, the 9th and 10th, I think. So I have to get over there, make sure I get over there and turn those in and get the tags on them that they provide you. And then wait and see what happens. I don't know, it's just kind of nerve-wracking. I don't know if I'll do it again. We'll see how it works out. It might be something I'll never do again, but you never know. How you going to experience anything if you just sit home and think about doing it and never do it. So I'll be glad that I did it, no matter what happens. All right, I think that's going to be it for now. Wednesday's video, I have no clue what it's going to be on. It's not our sew along yet, but I will be putting the Craft C commercial on that. I just really don't know. It might be a hang out with me day. I haven't done one of those in a while. We'll see. Another story I have for you though is the Sew Sampler box that was supposed to be here last week. Decided to tour the United States, which I know a lot of our mail is touring right now, isn't it? I don't know what the deal is. They're on vacation and it's summertime and all our packages are just wanting to go tour. They're on tour. But anyway, the thing came from Texas, which was its place of origin, to Indianapolis, which is usually a pretty good sign. That means that it probably flew there. And usually it comes from there to Louisville, probably on a truck. I'm not sure. And then to my post office. Well, it went from Texas to Indianapolis, and then it went back to San Diego. And I don't mean back to. It wasn't ever out that far to start with. So it went to San Diego. Do you know San Diego is about as far away from here as you can get within the contiguous 48 states? So I had to wait for it to come back, and it finally made it back to Indianapolis, and I do believe there's a possibility I could get it today, Monday, if not Tuesday at the latest, if it decides it's going to stay in the area or go on tour again. So we shall see. When that gets here, I'll have the flowering pattern to do this week also, which not a big deal, and the blockheads. So that's the only 2 things I probably should get done this week, besides my little pincushion that I want to do. It's going to be fun. I hope you have some nice little projects to get to working on this week as well. I'll see you back here on Wednesday for that video, whatever it may be. And we're getting closer to our sew along, and so we want to get ready for that. If you don't have your patterns yet, get that membership to Craft C and get those and get your fabrics out and ready for that. That's coming on August the 6th. Is when that starts. All right, have a great week sewing in your sewing room. We will be back here on Friday for Finish It Friday to see what I finished and see what you've finished. And I encourage you to get in there and whip out some whips. How about that? Some of your works in process, just keep them going, keep them moving. All right, we'll see you here on Friday. Bye.